why can't we see it? A local pastor expresses his concerns and disappointment about the state of lawlessness that has overtaken the city of Minnesota since George Floyd's death. Why am I not surprised? He says it seems like the Wild Wild West. Local retail stores like Target being burnt down, as usual. That's the MO when these things happen. People bold enough to bust, when I say bust, shoot and break into places. He says it's just become scary. And even referencing how the city once looked, the pastor talks about people leaving the area or living in fear if they stay behind. He says it's sad, quote unquote. I'm going to read you guys a quote from the police department of Minnesota, which says, we are no longer able to protect you. Our objective is for you to stay safe. So in the midst of a robbery, give the robbers what they want. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what it is. But don't take his word for it. Don't take my word for it. Have a look for yourself. Look at this video of what the city looks like now since the death of George Floyd. And all this supposed to be in the name of George Floyd, in the name of justice, in the name of Black Lives Matter, or BLM. Yeah. An organization that for the most doesn't support any evangelical belief systems, or just basic core family belief systems. Yet we have this large portion of society that's supporting this group. Why? Why? I tell you why. They didn't believe what they said they believed in the first place. All these foundational truths that build your belief in God, if they really believed these things, they would denounce this group. But they're either afraid, which is what I believe is the case in most instances, especially when it comes to white people, because they don't want to be accused of being a racist. And the fastest way to be called a racist is say you don't support Black Lives Matter. There are a few, but for the most part, they won't say anything. All these Black Lives Matter, BLM signs popping up everywhere like the Passover. There are more than a few that are disingenuous, I believe. Could they have had a change of heart? It's possible. Since George Floyd's death, it could have been that impactful. But it really doesn't matter what I think. Folks, it doesn't matter. Or what I believe. What really matters is what they believe, these groups. Where were you when others were killed by cops? That's their point of view. That's the questions. That's the type of question that's being brought up in these meetings or these settings where they're deciding what they're going to do. Do you really think that a BLM sign would save you from some savages? I know some savages. Real talk, I know some. And it's not going to work. This group won't denounce any of its violence. Not that I expect them to. In most instances, they declare it's necessary. And worse yet, they've embraced this Antifa ideology, total destruction. There's a saying, folks, that says, in the kingdom of glass, everything is transparent, and there is no place to hide a dark heart. You know what I think? In today's world, in this age of glass, this is an age of glass for humanity. And there are a lot of people showing what's really in their heart. I guess that's why there's an old ancient proverb that references, above all else, guard your heart. For this very reason. And all of this in the name of racism. And every time I look up, this is what I'm challenged with. Every time I look up Webster Dictionary definition of racism, which says the belief that race accounts for differences in human character or ability, and that a particular race is superior to others. Discrimination or prejudice is based on race, and the belief that each race has distinct qualities. Every time I look that up, I have a hard time processing. I have a hard time believing it. That people, not that it doesn't exist, but that this belief system has saturated our society. The belief that race separates us from being identical in humanity. I don't remember God mentioning race based off of skin color. He only mentioned the human race. And we won't even, and we, Lord help me. And we're not even going to mention the justice that he spoke of, deserved and due to all mankind. Yet we want this justice that looks more and more like revenge to me. And I can speak on it because I was one of the most vengeful people that you can ever meet. Very spiteful, very petty. That's until I found Christ, of course. But that worked for me. Which is troubling, to say the least. To not see others who are supposed to be like-minded in faith, not recognize what they're co-signing with these signs and silence and justification, and worse yet, this judgment concerning what others may or may not be thinking. Like I could look at someone and determine that they racist based off an offense that I interpreted. Can I be pro-black and pro-lives? All lives? Can we protest against police abuse and advocate for good police at the same time? Is that possible? Can we advocate for equality while not advocating for special privilege? Because that's what I see. You guys tell me, that's what I see. I just wish that some people would have clear conscious thought. Critical thinking skills, which is the ability to criticize your own thoughts instead of out here looking to read or criticize someone else's thoughts because, you know, they have these unconscious biases that you're an expert in identifying, that they're not aware of, causing them to be racist. Does that make any sense? I'm going to say this and then I'm going to end this video. Is let me ask you guys this. And you comment in the comment section for me, please. Is an unconscious bias confirmed by the one that's offended, or is there some other measuring stick? Because I ain't figured that out yet. And if that's the case, then there's no defense. It's all subjective, and we are all subject to the accuser. You guys take care. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the support. Please subscribe so you can be notified every time I post a video. Please like and share. And again, you guys take care.